What's good? It's the King of 06 here, and I'm back today with an NBA Live Mode 22 video on the season game in this one. Forgot which one it was. So I guess week 13, game 13 against the Wizards. Let's get into it. Try to win this one. That is way too easy of a rebound, but Jokic there. It's a nice defense. Spin around. I like that. Nice movement. Great dunk right there. 2 points. Speaking of Jokic, man, there's just no way, it happens, but there has to be somebody out there showing when you named your son Nikola Jokic, bro. I literally heard that, and then I thought, because I've seen so many 2K videos with auto-generated players, I did not think that was a real person. That really caught me off guard, that's gonna be confusing to watch a Heat Nuggets game next season, and then you have those two matching up against each other on a defense possession loss. That's gonna be confusing. Similar names, they're both Serbian. They're both very tall. It's crazy, man. The similarities are just ridiculous. You know? But I guess everybody, in the draft got somebody they wanted, I guess. I don't know. The Kings did kind of, everybody is kind of giving the Kings some shit, you know what I'm saying? Drafting Keegan Murray. I don't know too much about Keegan Murray, so I'm not going to talk about it. But, yes, they could have taken Jaden Ivey. Yes, it is about getting the best available, but they don't need a guard. They have no need for another guard. They still have De'Aaron Fox. They still have Davion Mitchell, So it's why do you need another guard right now? I guess the Kings getting Keegan Murray were literally just them trying to, get Harrison Barnes up and out of there eventually. That's what I think they're trying to do. Apparently, he's one of the oldest players in the draft, so I guess he is ready. He'll probably need a season. But they're probably trying to do something with Harrison Barnes. Get him out of there. Feel me? I mean, that's the right move. But Ivy going to the Pistons is perfect, man. Their games, Cades and Jaden Ivey's end up playing off of each other so much. It's going to be crazy. The Pistons are... Not to mention, Nate ended up getting Jalen Duren in this wacky multi-team trade. That confused people a little bit too. Some of them may have been draft day trades, but most of the first round picks said proposed trade to blank, but Silver just kept on announcing the teams that originally had the pick getting this player, and that just confused everybody. But I wouldn't understand the Thunder getting Usman Jiang, but again, the Thunder are they're gonna find a way to do something with him. But yeah, Pistons getting Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey. Not to mention Kemba Walker, I guess. That's if you want to give Kemba Walker those starting minutes instead of Jaden Ivey, I guess. Maybe you want Jaden Ivey as your sixth man for this season, which would be perfect because what the hell is Frank Jackson gonna do at this point? Like Frank Jackson's not doing anything. Neither is Josh Jackson. You know, and then yes, you already have Isaiah Stewart, but Jalen Duren is not a bad get either. Like he's a very good prospect. It's just like, what do you want to do? Do you want to play him? Because you still have like, I mean, I guess if you want to do it like this, then you probably have I don't know who their power forward is right now. It might be Kelly Olynyk. So I guess they may still want to go with him for at least one more season. Because Jalen Duren's young. You want to develop a player like that. But I guess eventually you could get a starting lineup of Cade Cunningham, the point guard, Jaden Ivey running two. Sadiq Bey running the small forward. Jalen Duren running power forward possibly. And then Isaiah Stewart, center. It's not really a difficult thing to think about. That's something hypothetical. Top three picks, like I said, none of those players were gonna fall outside of the top three. And there were many players that I hadn't heard about, honestly. Jeremy Sohan, I didn't hear about much. So I can't, you can't really speak on anybody until they actually play NBA games, but I couldn't really speak on certain ones like those specifically. Because, I haven't seen game film. I don't know. Yeah. Very great, like picks that you wouldn't expect the team to make. Like the Blazers getting Shaden Sharper, the Bucks getting Marjon Beauchamp, or even in the second round, you have people speaking so highly of this Jaden Hardy guy in the G League Ignite, and the Mavericks get him. If you lose Jalen Brunson, which I don't think, again, the Knicks are trying to pursue him for whatever reason, and they made that multi-team trade to clear cap or whatever. Probably not going to be too much, because I don't think Kemba Walker even got paid all that much money. But I guess you're trying to clear cap for him. But if the Mavericks, for whatever fucking reason, decide to let Jalen Brunson go for that, you're kind of set still. And then Marjon Beauchamp, that can be, because they needed another true offensive threat when Chris Middleton was out, because then you basically had Giannis just doing everything. Like that Boston Celtics literally just said is the epitome of help me please. This man averaged, so much throughout the Celtics series. I think it said 34.5 points per game and then 15 rebounds. If you have somebody averaging those statistics in a playoff series, you shouldn't lose, realistically speaking. But he had no help. And you can get that in a young player that can develop over time. Learning, I guess more offensive skill to an NBA level from Chris Middleton. I mean, and then again, Jrue Holiday's defense. I'm not gonna say Jrue Holiday was bad, but that's not a player you want to be your second option when Chris Middleton, the true second option of the team, is out. You need somebody else, because that's not his game. He's a, I guess he's kind of a, he's a facilitator and defender who, can get in, the mid range, get in the paint sometimes, and get you some quick layups, floaters and things like that. He's not an offensive threat like many people would believe. He's no slouch, but in a series like that, when you needed help, that's not a person you're looking to, right? So they can develop him, and that'll be interesting to see. Give me the ball. That's a steal. That's a steal, man. All right. 61-18 in the third quarter. Sharp included. There was a lot of I guess there were so many players from overseas and other places. At Australian players like Dyson Daniels, obviously. Dyson Daniels was pretty good for the Pelicans to get, because I guess they do need a true point guard. CJ McCollum's not that's good, but that aside, you had Australian players, you had players from Italy, a whole bunch from Canada, Sohan from England, etc. That really did reveal itself during the draft. But that really caught me off guard, man. Shaden Sharp, I did not know there was a London in Ontario, Canada. That really, when I first heard that, when they first announced that, I'm like, what? That just completely threw out the window years of stuff I've learned about geography and everything. I really did not know that, but I guess you really do learn something new in every day, And I guess for the Warriors picks, I hadn't heard too much about the second guy. The first guy, I think I watched a game of. That's not anything to put in stock into. But he seems like a fair player. And even if, these two players we ended up getting aren't, all that initially getting drafted, they're gonna learn tremendous things from the system we already have. We're literally NBA champions. They're gonna come right in, they're not gonna get the minutes. They're probably gonna be at the end of the rotation, or maybe two-way G League, NBA contract sort of thing. They're probably not gonna get the time, but they will learn. We have that system built in place where any player can come right in and learn so much from us. And I guess overall, every team got better except for the Knicks. In fact, the Knicks might have been the only team you could say, and possibly in a draft in the last decade, that somehow got incredibly worse. You should not. I find it heavily impossible that a team can manage to get worse during a draft. Every team should be at least getting either somewhat better during the draft, or maybe nothing happens when you're an NBA champion like us. But to get worse, you draft a dude that's unknown, and then you had the rights to a player like Jalen Duren, and then you traded him away, and then you only cleared up the most minute amount of cap space for a player like Jalen Brunson. This is literally the first year we've actually known he's done something. He hasn't been a consistent player. Some of that is on him. Some of that is on he's been stuck on the bench for years. This is that last season in early playoffs was his first sign of showing that he could do something and you're really just gonna try to give him all this money, or go after him and sell out that much for a player that is just now doing something, that hasn't had a consistent level of being a good player. And even then, like, bro, you have so many small guards on your team. I could see if this was a player like, I could see if this was Kyrie Irving or something, who has, while he has his own troubles, he has consistency of being a good player when he needs to be. Like, Jalen Brunson literally just blew up last season. Like, he has not been doing this constantly, and you're about to give him max money off of 1 year of great production. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. You know, like, I don't, like, Knicks fans are in some stuff right now. I mean, you gotta feel bad for some Knicks fans in a way. Like, not all of them deserve hate, because at the end of the day, that organization is run by dumbass people, man. Like Leon Rose, and especially James Dolan, just pure dumbasses. There's not much you can do about that. But anyways, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.